If you wanna stay with me, if you wanna try.
Hi there, welcome back to the Board Game Specialist. I'm Carla.
And I'm Melanie.
And today we're talking about a reverse of an episode we did, not last episode, but the one before.
Yeah.
So this one is called Games We Hated or Did Not Like, but now we really like or love these games. So now you'll get to see the reverse of things that came into fruition from, basically nothing. This was kind of a neat list because there's going to be a crossover from one of that other episode we did.
Oh, really?
You've seen it already. Yeah.
I forget. I put the list together. I didn't even clue in. Oh my God. That's funny.
It was one of the ones that you should like but didn't. And
right.
I didn't really like it, but then I began to love it. So
all right.
It'll be that there. But before we get into that list, we always talk about a game that we've been playing and enjoying. And my game that I'm talking about, I actually borrowed from Mel because I had played it previously, a friend's copy. And then another friend wanted to learn it. So I said, oh, can I borrow this game? And I relearned it and we got to play it. We got to play a 3-player game, and this is Woodcraft. I did fail to take pictures.
You borrowed this. I'm like, which game did I lend to you? Yeah. And I saw it on this thing. Said, "Oh, Carla, go Woodcraft." I put it on there.
Well, I do have it here, but it's yours. But I came back to this game more, not just because to teach my friend, but because I really did enjoy this game, and I still do enjoy this game. It's a really neat dice drafting game. Not dice drafting, I should say. You're using dice in different ways, but it's action selection still. And now Vladimir Suchy, he tends to have this kind of wheel selection. He did it in Shipyard. He did it in another game too. Praga Caput Regni, I believe it's called, which is a neat one as well. But this one is like a completely different game. That's one thing about this designer too, is all his games, they may have a similar component in them, but they're all very, very different. And you would not probably even think this was the same designer as some of the games that he does design, like Underwater Cities and things like that. Anyway, but this one, the theme behind it is you are these little elves working in a shop and building different things, and the dice is the wood that you're using. Now, there's 3 different colors of dice, and the neat thing is you can grow wood, and you can, chip off a piece of your dice, so you basically will split it, and then you will grow that little piece, and you'll start a little 1-pip dice in a bucket, and it'll grow into more wood. And you can use that as a mechanism in the game to get more dice or increase your value of your dice, but there's other ways to do it as well. You're always going to, at the beginning of your turn, you're going to grow your dice. There's 3 different buckets of wood trees that you could have that you could grow. That's the first thing you do. And then you're going to choose one of the actions around the wheel. And the neat thing about it is there's all these different bonuses around the wheel. If you happen to choose one that's in the bonus, you could get a bonus from the perimeter part of the wheel or the inner part of the wheel, depending which piece of pie you kind of choose from. And then when you take that action, then you're going to set it into the next piece of pie at the very end as possible, depending how many other actions are there. You're going to take your action, and then you may choose to split wood, you might choose to splice wood, and that is basically splitting up dice pips or growing them together. So I might have a 2 yellow and a 1 yellow, but I really need a 3 yellow so I can splice them together. You do have to have materials to do that and the ability to do that. Or I may have a 6 yellow and I need it to be split into like a 2, a 3, and a 1. And again, you need the materials to do that. So then what you're doing with these dice, this wood that you have, is you're completing these contracts. And these contracts go on the right side of your board. And depending when you take them, they have to start in a certain area, and then every income round they will slide down, and you'll kind of get a little bit less benefit from them. And if they end up sliding to the very bottom, you'll end up with negative points at the end. So you don't want to just take a whole bunch of contracts. You need to think wisely of, if I'm going to be able to complete these before they drop to the bottom or the end of the game or whatnot. Now, the currency in this game is blueberries. And so when I opened your copy, the base game comes with these cardboard blueberries, but you had a packet of plastic blueberries in a blueberry packet, like a
little
like
blueberry
the
plastic container thing. Yeah, I bought that on Amazon.
Yeah. So Cherry's like, do you think she just took a blueberry box and put them in there? I'm like, no, I think they actually came with this box. Because I remember you and Ashley talking about getting these blueberries, these squishy blueberries. And they're big, like they're big blueberries. And they're very like lifelike, but they're really cool to use as a currency. There's other resources you can get in the game, but there is different tracks. So you do have your income track, which is your blueberry track, and you do try to move up that because every so many rounds you take an income, and money can be very tight, especially at the beginning of the game, because you need to spend blueberries to get workers and to get contracts possibly, or to buy more dice because you need to have more dice to fulfill your contracts. Then there's like a little hazelnut track, which is your point track. So if you can get up that really high, then every income you're going to also gain those points. You do have a reputation track that will give you a multiplier at the end of the game for however many contracts you have. So if you get that multiplier up to 4 and you have 6 contracts, that gives you 24 points right away. It's quite interesting because there's so many things that you can do to get points. You also have these tools at the top of your shed that you can build up and place beside each other. And if you place unlike tools beside each other, you get the little bonus in the middle. And I know the first game or two I played, I didn't really focus on that. So this game, I really wanted to focus on building up those tools because they give you a lot of bonuses. Now, doing that, I failed to grow my dice, which all three of us barely, I don't even know if any of us grew any dice. That I feel like is very important as well. Like I think we would have had, a lot more points if we would have done that, but you can't focus on everything. So you do have to pick and choose. Do I want to, work on the tools? Do I want to grow a bunch of dice? Do I want to upgrade all my tools so that I have all these things that I can do each round? Because every time you use one of your tools or your, like your special tools, like a saw blade, it gets flipped and you won't be able to use it until you get to the next income round. So you kind of have to be careful how often you use those things. But there's so many things you could do in this game too. Like then you have the helpers that you can hire, and that's the main part of your board where you're placing these cards of helpers. And then if you activate the production, you'll get to do actions on them as well. Some of them have a one-time action. Some of them have an ongoing action, and then some like a once per round. But you can really build a cool engine that way as well. So there's, so many different ways you could go about this game. I don't feel like even if I played it 5 times in a row, I could still do something completely different in this game. But it's just so clever, and the theme is different. Like I've never seen one with this kind of theme where your little elves working in a shop and using the dice as wood. Like that's so clever to be able to split it and then, you cut your pips or to splice it together. It's a really cool, innovative game, I think. And I definitely, if I see this on the used market, I will end up buying it. If not, possibly brand new, because it is a great game and I do love it. But yeah, that's the game I'm talking about today was Woodcraft.
Yeah, Woodcraft is so good. The action selection, I think, probably is my favorite because it's as you do something, it kind of moves into the next wheel and it changes. So the more popular stuff, but then you don't get the bigger benefits of activating those again. The previous, and then just how you manipulate the dice. Such a clever game, and my blueberries make it so pretty. So. Great pick. Yeah, I completely forgot you had this book. And I was like, oh, that's so cool. She got this too. Oh my gosh. All right. So lately, the game I'm going to talk about that I've played recently is Search Party. So my friend has her nephew staying over with her. So, and at the Acme Library, they've been hosting game nights every Thursday. So I went 1 week, or like 1 week, and then we went last week. And so she came with her nephew, and I was like, Kate, let me show you some games. I brought some games, and I brought this one because I wanted to try it. Now, Search Party is a Dollarama game. Well, I bought this at Dollarama for $5. It actually was a prize at Malcon, but I was like, oh, I should have grabbed one for me. So I bought a second copy, and I was like, this one I'm opening. It's not a prize, it's mine. And I opened it, and first of all, you open the board, and it folds like in 4. So you open it, and then you open it, and then you end up with this 3D pop-up scene out of the board. I was like, whoa! So it looks impressive. But this plays pretty much like Micro Macro. So you have 30 missions that you're going to go through. Theme-wise, it's more family-friendly than Macro is. Like, it's not adulteries. It's not like... I mean, it's more family-friendly. It's definitely more colorful, right? Mm-hmm. But you'll start with this one that says, okay, so let's find where there's a car crash. And you find a car crash. And then it's like... And then the next... You have like your cards and it's like, okay, you find this. Okay, we find it here. And then it has a question on the next card. Where did he come from? And you kind of find out where he came from. And you still kind of got to go through this amusement park. Is like, okay, well, the crash was here. And where was he? Oh, look, he was over here. And then, kind of like, so who wasn't happy about the situation? Well, this person, okay, well, where did they come from? Why are they unhappy? And then you're like looking through. So exactly like Macro. And there's like 30 missions in this one, and the kids loved it. Like we did one and they're like, okay, well, next one. Okay, let's keep going. Okay, let's keep going. And we ended up doing like 6 missions or whatever. But it was neat. It was fun. For $5, it's a no-brainer, right? Like, and then just the look of it as you open it and the whole thing, and you got like this Ferris wheel, and you have these like loop-de-loop, I don't even know what they're called, but and then the image. But some of the stuff you're looking for might be in the 3D stuff, so most will be on the board and just kind of finding it. It was so satisfying. It was so good. So if you haven't picked this one up from Dollarama, go and pick it up because it was still there. I bought this last week. So, and that's my recent play, Search Party.
Yeah, I bought this one too to add to my grandchildren's collection. So I still have it in shrink too. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah.
It's cool. I had no idea I thought it was more like an escape kind of game, but that's cool that it's just like a search and find kind of game. Awesome. All right. Well, here we go onto our list. Now,
yes.
It'll be interesting if we get some similar comments because now we're talking about things we love. So should be all good. We should be okay with that.
Oh, this one will be different. Yeah. And it's funny because like you mentioned, you had one on the last list that's now made it to this list, and we should like make a point. Like, and at first, you know what, I found it hard a little bit because once you like a game, it's hard to remember that you did it at one point, right? So, exactly. and what makes it, but yeah. So
yeah, well, and you already ended up playing one of those games from that list that we should like, and you said actually it's not that bad.
So it may or may not be on my list.
So it might. That's right. So
all right. So let's start with you. What's your number 9?
So my number 9, just gonna pull up my list here, is Great Western Trail. Now, I think what happened with this one is the first time I played it, it was kind of a sketchy teach, and we were kind of all learning as we were playing. And I also had in the back of my mind, I remember I had been at the cafe one night and somebody literally set this game up when they got there at 6 and learnt it while they were there. And by 11 o'clock, they were in round 2, I think. And so I was like,
oh my God.
What? So that kind of was in
Yeah.
the back of my mind too. So playing this game thinking, oh my gosh, this is like must be super heavy or something. But so we played the game and I don't remember what we got wrong, but it was sort of like a play as you learn as you play kind of game. And I didn't, nothing really like called out to me. I mean, I do like these mechanisms, like you have your rondelle that you're going around this board doing different things. It's a one-way rondelle, and then you start back at the beginning and you carry on again. I did always like the deck building part of it. That's where you're building up like a herd of cows basically that you can sell. But it just didn't, the train part wasn't that interesting to me at the beginning. And then, I just sort of just let it go. And then I don't even remember how I began to like it, but our friend Cherry just loves this game. And I don't know if I started to love it when she did. I don't remember all those logistics, but we obviously ended up playing it again. And I think even the second time I was like, oh, okay, well, it's okay now. It's not, I don't hate it. But then I played it and I figured out some sort of engine, and I got like my engineer all the way to the end. I don't know how I did it because I've never done it again. And so I worked the engineer angle, and then I also worked another angle. I think I had cowboys and engineers, and I did like a ton with that. But the amount that I got to move with my train, and I got to go in all those little stops and drop off like another worker, which would give you like some big bonuses. I think I just started to figure out more of a strategy in this game. Whereas at the beginning, I really had no clue of what's the best way to strategize. So I think this one for me was more just playing it a couple times and then figuring out, oh, okay, there's things that I can, you either have to do this, go this way or that way, or do a combination of two things, because you do have your 3 workers in here that you can go, like there's the builder, so you could build buildings, and that can be one strategy. You can just keep moving your engineer, or you can build your deck with cowboys. That will help you, gather more cows. But if you can do 2 of the 3, then it's awesome. But I ended up liking it, and then we played it again, and I really liked it, and I didn't continue to win over and over. I have won like a fair amount, but even not winning, it was still like a really fun game. Sometimes we'd be very close, sometimes we'd not be very close, but still just building and trying different things in this game. And then they came out with different, like a sequel, and then like the 3rd version of it, and I did like all of those, but I still do like the main game, like the first version of it. I haven't tried the little version, the El Paso, which is like a smaller version of it yet. I would like to try that, but it's a shorter version of this game, and also has a solo mode. This one has a solo mode. I haven't actually tried it in solo mode, but it's just one of those games that definitely grew on me, and I would still play anytime. Now, there's people that we know that hate this game, and I don't know if she's only played it once, but I feel like it could grow on her eventually if she continued to play, but maybe not. You never know. It can just, like, some games just don't resonate with people, and this one ended up getting better and better for me. But yeah, that's my number 9, Great Western Trail.
I've only played this one once.
Oh, really?
And to me, I liked it okay. I really enjoyed going through the path, making your way, collecting your cows and stuff. And at the time, I was still living at the farm, and I had a ranch. So we had cows, like the theme appealed because that was like my day-to-day life. And then you get to the train and it's like, what the heck is the point of the train? But okay, sure, whatever. And I kind of ignored that part. So it was okay. It was a tough, because it was like we sat down and let's learn this and try to figure out how to play. There's a lot of rules. So it was a little bit of a tough learn. But I enjoyed it okay, but yeah. So would I play it again? Would I like it more? Probably. And theme is what kind of won me over with this one. But yeah, so that was your number 9.
Mm-hmm. And when you play it and know it well, or somebody knows it well, you would definitely like it more, I'm sure.
True. Yeah. Sometimes, you know, and that's something I was going to talk about a little bit before I got to my number 9. What makes me not like a game could be either that you don't get the nuance of what the point of the game is, right? And then you're kind of like, well, I'm not sure what I'm doing or what the point of this is. And that makes it tough to enjoy a game. Or, yes, it was so difficult to learn, or like the learning process was so bad that it kind of tainted the feel of the game. So my number 9 is one from that last list. Now, with the last list, I said, look, I've played these games. Will I not ever play them again? No, I might play some of these again. There's some that I was like, I might be like, I really would rather not. But so my number 9 is Small World. And the reason why this is on my list, because a friend of mine says, hey, I found this game at a thrift store. I bought it. I can't figure it out. Could you teach it to me? And I said, oh, yes, I'll teach it to you. Yeah. And I refreshed the game or whatever. And I played Small World the first time. It's like, okay, this is a area control game. So it's like Risk. Play it like Risk. You're trying to gain control of these different areas. And that's what the game is. And the game sucks when you play it like Risk. And what you understand is that Small World is an area control game, and you're trying to control the most area each rounds, not beyond that. So you kind of spread out, try to get as much, and then you score points for what you control that round. Next round, you have to decide, am I keeping that same group of people and see if I can spread some more to gain more points, or do I drop these people, get maybe a little bit less points, get a new species and start spreading in a different way to try to get more points. It's really about how can I maximize the amount of points I can gain this round. And if you get where it's not Risk, you're not trying to get control of everything and maintain your control, the game is a lot better. So would I say I love this game? You know what? I liked it. The second play, I liked it. And it was funny because I was playing with my local gaming group. And I'm setting up the game and we're pulling it out. And the rule book was not in the game. Like the rule book was gone missing. There's the player aid, but I printed the rule book and they're like, oh my God, what are we sitting? This is intimidating. Maybe we should just pack it up. And I had Rodney Smith on the TV kind of doing a quick tutorial as well. And they're like, oh my God. And I was like, guys, it's not going to be that bad. And I'm going into it like the game might suck, but it looks more intimidating than the gameplay is going to be. The gameplay is not going to be that bad. And then we got playing it, and you know, it's interesting. You pick your species, and then it's assigned to like an ability that they have, and it was good. It was good. So I'm eating crow now, but. You know, after my first playing it like Risk, thinking is like, hey, this is an area control, I'm going to play it like Risk, the game was horrible. But if you get what this game is really about, it's not about gaining control of the whole map. It's about maximizing the number of control points, area control points you can get each round, and take each round as like a new puzzle. Okay, what's the best thing I can do with what I have here? The game feels completely different. So that's my number 9, Small World.
Nice. So one's crawled out of the depths. And now, do you own this one?
No, I don't own this one. Will I go out of my way to buy it? Probably not. If I come across it, will I buy it? Well, probably. I have no self-control when it comes to that. But yeah.
Awesome. All right. Well, mine next one is a crossover from the last list. It was on your list. This was actually your number one. So this is a Feast for Odin.
Yes.
And this is why I keep preaching to you that you should play it. You should try it again. I feel like you didn't get it right. And so, but the same thing happened to me the first time. I didn't actually hate it, but I remember thinking, how would I ever fill this board or any other board for that matter? Because what you're trying to do is cover up your player board as much as possible to get as much income and bonuses as possible. So you're using all these little polynomial tiles or money and resources to surround bonuses and to cover up things so that you can get income. Now, the first time I played it, I don't think I even got half my board filled. So I had all these negative points at the end, and then left me thinking, like, how would I ever be able to cover this board completely? But then I ended up buying this game. I don't even know what prompted me to buy it, but I did. And then I played it solo, and I played it a whole bunch of times solo, and I finally figured out that the more boards you get and the more things you like, so you slowly start to cover, then you get more bonuses, which let you get more tiles, which let you cover more things. And so then I started to see, oh, okay, I see now that you can, or you get your sheds, there are these other tiles, and you cover those things up and surround things and you get things. So it's like, it feels risky because you're like, I don't want to get more things because that's just so much more pressure to have to cover up more things. But the more things you cover up, the more things you get, and then it just kind of snowballs. So we've actually played this, me and Cherry, a month or two ago, and it was kind of, we weren't back at square one, but we just barely we covered our main board. We got a couple sheds, I think, but we didn't get any of those other exploratory boards. But it made me feeling again like, oh, next time I know I would do this, and then I would get one of those. And it's just one that I know every time I play it, I just want to play it more. And it's a heavy, long game. This isn't a short game. You can play a shorter version of this game, but I don't know if that you would get the whole feel of it because you wouldn't complete what you need to do. So I don't know why there would be a shorter version, but there is. But this one definitely grew on me and continues to grow the more I play it. So, yeah, that's my number 8, A Feast for Odin.
And I might be in the same thing. If I played it again, I might eventually learn to love it. I just don't intend to find out.
Just in case.
Yeah. Like, is this one that I'd be like, oh, let's play this one. If there's other option, I'd be like, okay, you guys play it. I'm going to go play something else. If it's like, there's only the 4 of us, everybody's playing this one, I wouldn't go home.
Yeah.
But, yeah. Yeah. All right. My number 8 is the Dwarf King. So I got this game early in when I got into the hobby. Like the hobby games, like not just board games, but when I got into like the more modern board games. And I don't remember where I got it from. And I played it, and it was like, because it's a trick-taking game. I was like, sweet, I love trick-taking games. But it was like so weird. Like it wasn't just trick-taking game. Okay, you win the trick. That was good. You get the point. And I was like, oh, okay, I don't know about this game. And then me and you recently did our kind of top 9 trick-taking games. And we got talking. Well, we had done it twice. Now we've done it a second time. And when we did it the first time, I've got kind of playing more and more trick-taking game. And I'm like, where it's not just, okay, you play, you win the trick. That's good. You move on. There's nuances to some of these trick-taking games. And it made me think of this one. I was like, hold on. I think I should pull this one off the shelf, dust it off a little bit, and give it another go. Because I think maybe it was great, and I just didn't get it. Mm-hmm. And it is. I dusted it off. We played it again. I was like, okay, this game is great. And what happens is it's a trick-taking game. You get the hands. It's all dealt out, and you look at your cards, and you got what you got. Before you start, whoever has a certain character is going to take a tile and they flip it over, and that tile has 2 winning conditions. And they're going to decide what is the winning condition for the tricks this round. And it's more like positive or negative. Like, so if you win a trick and it has this, it'll give you points. Or if it wins a trick, you win a trick and it has this, you'll lose points. So, and I've played it with you. You kept going for the negative stuff too. And so, and the person who looks at this will be like, okay, so it could be like, you know, whoever has the most red will gain so much points or different things. And then they look at their cards like, well, I have almost no reds and all my reds are small numbers. So I don't think I'll gain this very much. So I'm not going to pick this one. So then I'll do whoever ends up with the most red lose this much points or whatever, right? Whatever it is. And then you play the trick. But so each round, each trick you're playing plays differently because there's a different winning condition this round. And you're like, oh man, I have no reds either. Like, you know, so then it's like, okay, well then, what am I going to, okay, well, I'm going to try with these big cards, trying to, whenever somebody play, like, you know, like you just kind of have to adjust how you play a little bit each round. So if you go into this game saying, yeah, I've played hearts, I probably like trick taking or whatever you've played for that basic trick taking game, this takes it to another level that if you don't kind of open to it, it's kind of like, what? But now that I've played so many trick taking games, I was like, okay, hold on, I think I should play this again, because I think I just kind of like, what? It's too confusing. I didn't like it. But it's not that confusing. And when we played it again, and this was another one that I try to learn and play and teach other people all at the same time. Nobody knew how to play. Nobody understood the nuance of trick-taking games or some of the modern trick-taking games. So that's why I kind of like, no, this was horrible. I never want to play it again. But now that we've played it again, I was like, okay, no, this is actually really good. And that is my number 8, the Dwarf King.
Yeah, I enjoyed this one. We played it at a high player count too. I think was there 6 of us? 1, 2.
I think so. Like we had a full table.
5. Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right, my number 7 is Teotihuacan. Now this one I played at my first Gob Fest. This was the first game I played in the morning. And I played with people who already knew this game. This was one of those hosted games where they teach you at the convention. And I was the only one who didn't know how to play. So that probably played a factor in it, that I was just learning this game where everybody else knew what they were doing. And it was terrible. I barely got, I don't know. Everybody got to a certain point in points, and I don't think I even got half as much as they did. But it's a beautiful game board. It kind of has that like Mesopotamia theme where you're building pyramids, and then you have your track of the dead, I think it's called, and like when you can build houses, and then that moves you up that track, and then there's other tracks in the middle that you want to move up to gain more food and bonuses. These little tiles that you can collect, these what are they called again? Masks. You can collect these masks, and that can be a whole point gathering thing too. There, it's a set collection. But the main mechanism in this is a dice placement. So, and it's different because you're not just putting a dice down, you're actually grabbing a dice and moving it, and it's your own dice. You have your own colors, and you grab it from one area and you'll move it to another area. The next one in line, I think you can move up to 3 movements, and then where it lands, depending how many other dice are there in different colors, you could either collect cocoa, which is the currency in this game, for however many different colors are there, or you would have to pay cocoa to do an action on that tile. And you'd have to pay for, again, however many colors are there. So there's a lot of times where you just need to gather cocoa, and so you want to get to a place where there's a bunch of different colored dice there, different players' dice. But when you do the action, it depends on the power of your dice as well. So if I have a 1 there, I'm going to do a very low powered action. But if it's a 5 or a 6 or even a 4, I'm going to get to do a higher powered action. If I have 2 of my own dice there, that'll actually help too and get me a higher powered action. And a lot of the places you're going to, you're collecting resources. There's one technology place where you're going to gain technology, and that'll help you throughout the game. There's a place where you can go and build the pyramids, and then there's another place where you can go and build up the steps to the pyramid. And they all give you things and cost things. You can actually lock a dice into one of the tiles, and you can get a really cool action there, but then it's locked there until you can figure out a way to unlock it. There's several expansions to this game. They're not necessary at all, because just the game alone is a lot. Once your dice gets to a 6, then it has to, I forget the term, but it like ascends, I believe it is. Ascends to heaven, I think, and then you go to this area and choose a bonus, and it goes back to a 1, and then you start over. And sometimes you want them low, especially if it's near a round where you're going to have to pay for your workers, technically, which is your pips on your dice. So you have high pips, you're going to have to pay 2 food per dice. If it's low, you just have to pay 1. And the food is the cocoa. So it's not just currency, it's also like a resource that you need to use. But I just did not get much that was going on the first round, or figure out any sort of engine of any kind. I just sort of moved my dice around, collected a few things, and was just like very intimidated by these other 3 who knew what they were doing. And I was just out to lunch. Now, ironically, I met 2 good friends there that I continue to play with now. And that was the first time we'd ever met them. And they kind of really tried to help me throughout the game too. They're like, well, maybe, you could do this or this. And after I left that game, I was just like, wow, that was a lot. I did not get that. And I don't even know when I got back to it, but I ended up buying this game. I think I ended up buying it because the price point on this game was so good for the type of game it was. It was like a $45 game or a $40
Oh, wow,
game.
yeah.
Where this game, could easily sell for $60 or $70. So I don't know if that's what I was like, oh, maybe I'll just get it and try and figure it out. But I did, and then replayed it, and wow, did I end up loving it. And again, every time I play it, and it's not a game that I win frequently, but I still love it. I have won this game, but it's not something that I love because I'm so good at it and I win a lot. No, it's just so interesting. And I love the look of it too. Just having it on the table, the presence is it's just so appealing to me. I love it. But the gameplay is really, really cool. And I do love this one. And that's Teotihuacan, my number 7.
Nice. Yeah, I have not played this one, so it does look involved. I know.
Yeah, you would like it.
I know. So, all right. My number 7 is Arkham Horror, the card game. So, one thing I want to say is Fantasy Flight Game has done a really neat tutorial that almost watches like a movie. And it's really well put together. And even though they have this amazing video tutorial, I could not figure out how to play this game for a long time. It was a hard learn. It was a hard learn. Yeah. And I've played this with one of my good friends who's a very religious person. And the whole Arkham Horror Cthulhu theme really bothered her the whole time we were playing. And I was just so like, hey, let's play this game. It's going to be amazing. And she's like, oh my God, what are you doing to me, right? And after like the first play, I was like, oh my God. Like, it was like first play, like first attempt. I don't even know if we managed to play our game the first time. And I can't tell you what was so complex with this game. The video are well made. Like, it shouldn't be this hard, but it was. And I can't tell you why it was. Like, now there is like some aspect because you could go from location to location. Once like you open up a location, it goes to another, but they're all cards. But it indicates on the card that this card is linked to this lettered card or this lettered card, so it's not visually a board. And I don't think that was complicated. I was okay with that. And this was one of the first Cthulhu-themed, Arkham-themed game I had played. And maybe that's why, because you're taking sanity hurt or you're taking physical hurt, and but I couldn't tell you why that first game was so brutal. But I was like, okay. I was like, but that video was so good. This game should be so great. Z Garcia loves this game. I was like, okay, we gotta figure this out. Like, it can't be as bad as it feels. And then got to play it again and again. And each time I play it, it's a bit of a relearn to kind of, okay, what is going on with this? Right. Okay. Right. But the game is great. It is great. And it's like, to look at it, to explain it, it's like, I don't know why this game was so hard to learn. It doesn't feel like it should be, but it felt like it. And every time I kind of revisit it, it's a tougher to kind of relearn and get going with it, but completely worth it as far as I'm concerned now. But it's just a neat game. You have your character. You're going to be facing these, demonic type things that you need to kind of get under control so that Cthulhu doesn't, come out, and you're kind of, battling these things, and then you can take insanity or kind of sanity damage or physical damage. But the game is great and I do like it, but and this one was like, just the learning is what really kind of stopped me from loving it right off the bat. And that's Arkham Horror, the card game. Now, I know you played this as well. How was your first play of it? Did you face the same thing?
Yeah, so I borrowed your copy because I was considering buying it. So I'm like, I'm going to try out Mal's and see. So I learned it, and it was very hard to learn. And then
so it's not just me.
No, I found it really hard to learn. And then so Kayla came and we played it, and we lost like very quickly. And so I think we tried it again one more time. I'm like, let's just see. Did we do something wrong? I don't know. And then we lost again. I don't know if it was quickly, but we both were just like, yeah, I don't know. So I gave it back to you, and I thought, no, I'm not going to buy this. But I do believe it's more like a lifestyle game. Like, there's people who love this game, but they play it a lot. So I think if I were to play with someone who knew it very well, I would probably enjoy it more.
Yeah.
But for me, having to I don't know if I had to look up rules and couldn't figure out, okay, where do we go from this situation to that one? And then had to look something up. I don't remember what the process, but it was difficult. It was difficult to win and difficult to play. But so many people love this game. So I was determined to learn it and to see if I could experience what they did. I didn't experience what they did, but I feel like if someone who knew it well, I probably would have a better experience, because I do like that world, like the the one what's the big one that we played that I loved with Kayla,
Mansions of Madness.
Yes, Mansions of Madness, same world kind of thing. And so this was sort of like a smaller version, very different, but still kind of same world. So I thought this is something I could do solo. And yeah, no, it was definitely difficult to learn.
It's a brutal learn. Yeah. And that does hurt this game quite a bit.
Yeah, I think so. But anyway, my number 6 is a game called Scythe. Now this one, again, the first time I played it was at a marathon game night where we played all through the night. And this one we pulled out at 3 a.m. I don't know why we chose this.
I don't think I would like any games if your first plays at 3 a.m.
And I think we kind of were learning it too. Like, I think maybe somebody knew what was going on or had played it once kind of thing. So we played it, and it was like, I think I ended up, oh no, this wasn't the one I ended up with. But I did not do well in this one. And then I don't know what or how or when I decided to play it again. It might have been a different cafe, and I don't know if somebody taught us there or what happened. We played it again and I was like, oh, no, I kind of like this. Like I kind of the action selection, because you have the top of your board and then once you upgrade the bottom you get 2 actions kind of thing, and you can never do the same one again. And I was, slowly like, oh, okay, I can kind of see like how this could, you build this engine kind of thing. And I wasn't overly concerned about attacking because you can play this game without battles. I mean, you probably will battle at some point in this game, but you all start in your own area and you really just need to go to the middle and back. So you don't need to take over areas, but it can help you and gain your resources and things. So I may have played it once again where we kind of didn't do much battling. We all stayed in our own end. And then from there on, I just continued to like it. It was one of those games, because it is a race game. You are just racing to get these stars on the board. It gives me that feel of like a sports game, because as I get closer to the end, my adrenaline goes up and I can feel like, I don't know, excitement kind of. And then I started almost winning every game I played of this. And I think that's probably increased my enjoyment, because I was like, oh, yeah, that was kind of neat how I just kind of raced to get those stars, but other people were doing this or that. And then every time like somebody mentions it, I'm like, oh yeah, I'm up for it. I don't own this game. I probably would if I came across it used at a good price. I wouldn't buy it brand new. But it's just one of those games that it's so unique to me. It doesn't feel like there's another game like it. I mean, other than what's the one he made?
No, Expedition is so different that you can't compare.
It's just, it has that same world kind of like
same world.
That yeah. So I mean, that would be the closest thing to it, but I can't think of another game other than no, that actually that's
My Little Scythe, I suppose.
My Little Scythe, true. But there is one that was made after it, Imperium, that has a similar vibe to it with the action selection. I think it's top bottom as well. Okay. But other than that, like I think that's what it's called, or Brazil Imperial or something like that. But I still like this one better. It just has a better feel of when you're doing something. And the neat thing is, once you kind of upgrade that bottom, if you place one of your discs in an area, every time somebody does something, you get that. And I always love that, and how Jamie will add some positive player interaction in his games, because then it just feels like you're always kind of watching. Oh, you did that? Cool. I get this. So yeah, it's a really interesting game. And yeah, first time I played was not great, but I grew to love this one. And that's my number 6, Scythe.
Very cool. Yeah, this is one that I've added to my collection. And I've played it. And I've played Expedition. And yeah, the two play so different. But I bought Expedition first. But yeah, I think I prefer Expedition still. But Scythe was definitely cool. All right, my number.
I'd like to try it again.
The Expedition, sure. Yeah. My number 6 is Power Grid. So in Power Grid, you are going to be creating power plants, and you're going to provide electricity for these different cities. And it has like an area control part of the map, and it has like a lot of bidding thing for what you're going to bid, and then collecting the resources to what your power plants are going to need. Now, the first time I've played this one, the resource thing is kind of interesting, because at first it's like, it's all coal. Like, that's what you get. Coal is cheap, so you're going to be buying that. And there's like these other things, but uranium is like ridiculously expensive. You're not getting that. And as you do this, and then you bid on these things, and then you purchase and stuff. And but as time progresses, it develops. But if you're not careful on the map as well, it could be like, okay, you can kind of easily get stuck almost, or get blocked by other players. And then all of a sudden, like, okay, well, I got this. I need, oh my God, why is coal ridiculously expensive now? and then everything shifts. And if you don't play carefully to kind of take that into consideration, it's like you just kind of fall behind. You need to evolve with the times as the board evolves with the time, right? Which honestly thinking through now, like it's a really neat concept. I quite enjoy it now. Now, when I played this the first time, I was playing with Nick. Well, maybe not the first time, but like the first time I had those things, and I was like, okay, no, I'm seeing the benefit of it. Let's play it. And I played it with Nick and Lee. And I got an obvious lead at the beginning. And they were never catching. Like there was no chance for them to catch up. And we're playing this whole game, and they could see that, great, that we're playing to lose, kind of thing, right? And that's and it's like, that's bothered me about this game. Like I'm playing just with like an obvious win, and it was, I mean, I'm sure it would have been worse if I was playing with an obvious loss, but I don't want them to stop playing with me, right? So I don't like games that just, if I've played it before, I don't mind winning a game, but I don't want to destroy at a game. No,
that's not fun.
Right? Yeah. So, but I also don't like to play a game where I try to lose so that other people will not, it's like, so, but the more I've played with it, and then the different version as well, because Power Grid, the card game, I absolutely adore. It kind of takes off the whole kind of area control element, and you're just bidding on these things and getting the resources for them. The Outpost one I quite enjoyed. The Power Grid Factory Manager I love. So, and then playing this one again now, it's like, now that they've kind of caught on a little bit more as well, I do enjoy this game, but it's just, I don't like games where I destroy other people just because I'm more familiar with games than the players I'm playing with might be. Because one, it's more fun if it's a challenge, but two, I don't want them to stop playing with me and for them to get so discouraged that they're like, okay, we're never playing games again. So, and that was kind of some of the issue that I had with Power Grid the first couple times. And yeah, the first time I played it, you definitely need to adapt. And it's kind of a tricky balance between how much do you pay for thing, and is it really worth going that far into that technology, or should you be upgrading a technology in the power grids that you're supplying or that you're kind of owning. But it's interesting. But yeah, no, I do enjoy Power Grid quite a bit. I enjoy all the different version of it. And those were just some of my concern early on when we were playing with it.
Right. Here's a question. Have you ever purposely played bad or just sort of slowed down your play so that people could catch up to you?
Card games with my ex-husband all the time. And again, because he would stop playing with me otherwise. Exactly. And what was funny is he would realize I'm doing it. And once he would kind of catch up in points, and he'd be like, okay, you can start playing again. Mm-hmm. But he didn't say anything until he's caught up. So, and my stepson and Lee can be a bit of sore losers if they're losing by a lot. Really? But it's not. So do I ever play to purposely lose? Very rarely.
Yeah.
I don't try as hard.
Yeah.
And even if I play with like little kids, I'm not just gonna be okay. Yeah, I'm gonna let you win because you're
just destroy them. No.
But yeah, so no, like and to me, what I hate more than that is to play with somebody who's not trying to play to win. That drives me crazy. So because that drives me crazy so much, and I hate that so much, don't they feel the same way? So I don't like to do that to somebody else just because. Yeah. But there'll be some times where I might not be so concerned about strategizing and trying to make sure that I've got the best. I was like, whatever, I'll just take my move quickly. And I still enjoy the game, kind of concentrate more on visiting with others or whatever, kind of more on the social aspect of trying to destroy at a game. But but I don't try to lose.
No, that's silly. But no, that's definitely a thing. Sometimes if I would rather somebody enjoy the game than me destroying them, because that's no fun. No, I don't like being destroyed, but I don't like winning by a huge market or 100 points. That's not fun either.
Yeah.
So having everybody enjoying it, especially if it's a game you love and you want them to play it more with you. You can't just go out and kill them and then expect them to want to play it again.
Yeah.
No. All right. So that was your number 6. Well, my number 5 is called Miyabi. And I actually had this on one of my lists recently.
Oh, I have. Carla, I have that somewhere else on your list from what you sent me.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. That's my next.
Okay. So we have Brass.
First is Brass Birmingham. This one definitely grew on me. I played it the first time at Gobfest again and absolutely hated this game. I was like, this is not fun at all. I'm trying to build things, but I don't have the things to build the things. And I didn't understand the whole beer part of it. And so I just kind of got through that game. Well, Cherry loved this game. So this is my main gaming partner. And so I'm like, okay, well, I'll give it another try, I guess. So we played it again and I was still like, yeah, I get that it's a good game. It's a very I understood it the second time and I'm like, yes, it is a good game. Still not for me. And then she just loved it though. So then every once in a while I would say okay, let's play this. We were playing with some friends from Edmonton. Let's play this game. And one time we were at my house and we were playing it with a couple. It was a husband and wife. And I don't think she had played the game or she just didn't really like it or wasn't good at it. So I had just decided, you know what? I'm just going to help her. That's all I'm going to do with this game because I don't want her to hate it. Whatever. I don't really like it, but I'm going to help her. And I ended up winning the game because I was helping her. So this game, when you help other people with their routes, you gain benefit from it big time. And it really showed because then I was flipping all these tiles. This is a game where it's like a route building and it's in 2 phases and you build, I think it's the waterways first and then the railroads.
Canals and then the railroads. Yeah.
And, but the more you kind of help with routes for other people, then they're going to be using yours and you're going to be flipping your tiles. So you're going to be improving all your tiles. So I was just flipping all these tiles like crazy. Still wasn't really looking at the points. And then all of a sudden we were counting the income and the end game points. And I flew by everybody and I was like, oh, and we kind of figured out it was because I was working so much with her, trying to get her things going that it really helped me. So then I was like, that's kind of cool because, that's positive player interaction again, where, helping somebody else is helping you. I scratch your back, you scratch mine kind of thing. And then I started to appreciate the strategy in the game. And so then I've liked it ever since. And I don't think it was just about me winning. It was about that. It was all that positive player interaction that I didn't figure out the first couple times or whatever. But it is a really cool game. And it's one that is will be an evergreen. I think that we'll pull it every once in a while and try to figure out the strategy. And, it can change up. This game can change. So each game is different because depending on the cards you get, that depends where you can build and where you can start your routes and stuff. You can never just go into this game going, I'm going to do this, because you don't know what cards you're going to have. So you can't just choose to build in the top right if you don't have any of those areas, unless you're just getting wild cards and spending turns to get wild cards. That's not going to really happen. So you kind of have to, it's a tactical game. It depends on what cards you get, what other people are doing in the game, and it's a very clever game, but it did end up growing on me, and that's Brass Birmingham, my number 5.
No, that's a good pick for sure. I think this is one that it looks a little dry, it comes across a little I don't know, but as you play the nuance, definitely it's a good game.
He's a clever
all right
designer.
My number 5 is Roll for the Galaxy. And I played this one for the first time at shoebox in Calgary, and they were playing it. Says, oh, and they had just kind of started playing it, and I had arrived a little bit late. Says, well, sit with us. We just started it. You can join us, and we'll start playing this. And I spent the whole game having no idea what I am trying to do. And I was like, I don't get it. And you have these dice, and I would roll these dice, and then you're picking some of these dice, and then depending on what you pick would kind of show what gets active. And some of the dice went away, but some of the dice you got to keep. And then it was like, and because I had walked in on this kind of, they were trying to quickly tell me how to play as they're playing it. You can't do that. This game is, the learning is complex. Like, it's not a complicated game, but the learning is not easy, straightforward. You do this, this is why. First of all, one thing that would have helped to understand is this is an engine building game. You're trying to acquire these tiles that's going to get added and then kind of make them so that they work together. It's an engine building game. Helps if you know that. Second thing that helps to know is the action selection is based on the dice. And what you roll, there's 5 different actions available. So you're going to roll, the icon on the dice is a different action that gets to, that you can possibly do. However, you're going to all pick one dice to pick an action that you're going to activate. And you take the combination of all the players and everything that everybody activated, and those are the actions that you're going to be able to do. So if you have other dice that has that action and somebody, whether you or another player, has activated, then that action can be done. But if you all do the same action, or not every action got activated, those particular action, you flip that tile on the X, they didn't get activated this round, you can't do those. And if you had dice that had that symbol, those go away and you're going to use them next round. But there's a lot of different kind of aspect like that if you don't fully understand what you're doing with this game and you just kind of walk in and sit down and try to pick it up as you go, it's going to be a horrible game. And it was. I was like, so what did you think? I was like, I think, like, by the end of the game, and I lost horribly by like more than half points or whatever, and I was like, I think I might understand what the goal is now. Like, it took me a whole game just to maybe know what the goal is. Now I've played it again, read the rules, kind of went through the teach properly, and it's a great game. It's so interesting as to what, okay, well, I really want to do, I have a lot of these actions, but I think that person's going to do it based on what they're trying to do. So I think that action is going to be a guarantee. I'm not going to concentrate. I really want to do this one as well. I don't know that anybody else is going to do, so I'm going to activate this one and hope that I get to do at least these 2 actions. Now I have some of these dice that would do this. I don't care if we do this or not, but if it happens, great. If not, whatever. And then you reveal, and then, oh, okay, this action is activated, this action is, okay, good, I get to do those 2 actions. And now, because you're trying to get those tiles, and now I have these tiles, so I make this goods, and then I can go and sell these goods here. And having a understanding of what the game is about, what the goal is, makes a big difference. So it's also one that's, if you're going to teach, because I taught this one once, and the one person was on their phone the whole time. And then I was like, okay, let's start. And she's like, okay. And I said, what do I do? It's like, you're going to hate this game.
Yeah.
But so if you get a proper understanding of the game, this is an amazing game and I love it. But it took over a full game to just understand, what am I trying to do in this game? And that's my number 5, Roll for the Galaxy.
Yeah, I did learn this game too as we were playing, and it was very difficult learn this one, but I would definitely like to try this one again, because it was not a smooth learn.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, so now you all know what my number 4 is. It is Miyabi. This one I played on the Dice Tower cruise, and after I played it, my feelings were, oh, it's a pretty game, but it's dumb, it's stupid. And that was when I had those opinions. I call my gamer journey like I was a toddler at some point and then kind of a teenager. In my toddler gamer years, I remember going to cafes and somebody would suggest a game and I was like, no, like I don't want to play that. I don't want to waste my time. I wouldn't say that, but that's how I felt. It was like, I want to play what I want to play. Like it was, I never said it, and we would play some of those games, but that was my feelings, and I equate that to I was a toddler. Then I had my teenage years where I would play a game and then immediately be like, that's stupid. In my head. Again, I wouldn't say it out loud, but it was like, that's dumb. It just had that mentality of like, I just immediately would judge a game. And so now I feel like I've grown into a mature gamer, and so I will respect games and I will play them, and I may not like them, but I will not consider them stupid. But this one I did, and so that was my teenage gamer years, where it was, I don't know why I thought it was stupid, probably because I did terrible and I got crushed in this game. But it's like a basic tile laying game, except that you're playing on levels. And the levels, I didn't do well with the levels. So you are just drafting tiles, and the tile that you draft, it has to go in a row where you have one of your workers. And if you've already used that row, you can't put it there. So say I grabbed a tile that had 3 flowers on it. I can only put it in one of the columns, like where I have one of those little, they look like towers. And so then I can move the tower down. So saying that I've used that column already, and I'll place the tile there. And you have this grid, this player board grid. And then I'm going to count the points for that tile. However many flowers are on there, and the levels that it's on. So if I'm just on the base level and I have 3, I'd get 3 points. If I had built that up and I was on level 4, I'd get to multiply and get that many points. Now, that's not just what you're doing. Like that's the main part of the game, but there are goals you're working towards, and there's usually a variant in the game. So you could be trying to do something completely different every game. You might be trying to connect everything on your board, or you might be trying to disconnect everything on your board. So that can change every round. But the goals that you're trying to reach is have the most of one icon in each row. And a lot of times you have to cover up things in a row. So you can't get every row. You can't get the most of every row. You have to figure out which is the best. Some are worth higher points than the others, so some are more valuable. But I don't know why I hated this game, because it is such an awesome game. It was just a rash teenage decision at the time, I think. But later on, it was one of those that kind of, I'm laying in bed thinking about this game. Yeah, I really think I need to try that game again. And so I ended up just purchasing it, and I've loved it ever since. I don't think I have won this game a single time. Played it with like my daughter, like multiple people. I'm not good at it, but I do love it now. And I love the fact that it's such a different type of thinking, where it's not just like a flat board of polyominoes. You have to build up levels, and the levels give you the bigger points. But it's just a really neat game that will stay in my collection now forever. But when I think back of how I thought it was stupid, it was just my adolescent gamer years that made that decision. But that's my number 4, Miyabi.
Nice. It's a pretty game for sure, yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Your teenage year. That's a good description, though, of it. All right. My number 4 is Terraforming Mars. Now, there's 2 reasons I did not like Terraforming Mars when I first played it. The teach. And my brother was the one who taught me this game. And in my brother's defense, he plays mostly with my sister, who has no patience for rules. Don't be going and telling me rules. I'm just going to fall asleep. Let's play the game. Tell me what to do as I go. I'm not quite that way. So I'm like, I'm going to need a little more. And then I'm playing the game and I ignored a bunch of different aspects of the game because I had, like, it got maybe mentioned real quick in passing. But it was like, so I didn't go for any of the awards or any of the challenges or any of these things. And I'm just trying to figure out what I'm supposed to do as we play. So I lost by a ridiculous amount. And, you know, that's the way that my sister liked to be taught a game, and now so it just did not work. Second thing that made the first gameplay tricky is not knowing what the cards will have, or what they can do. This is an engine building game with the cards that you acquire, so they're going to work together. And then you'll see some cards like, oh, you could put like this on there and it's going to be worth points. Like, well, I don't have any of this, but like whatever. So trash it. It's like, what? And there's like, and it was so unclear. Now, if you, before you play a game like this, kind of take the time to flip through all the cards, kind of have an idea of what possibly could come about. So that you like have, because if you're like, this is the first time I've ever seen this card, sure, I'll take this. But it's like, this is the first time I've ever seen this card, sure, I'll take this. This is a whole different symbol. None of these symbols match. None of the cards work together because I don't know what was available, what the possibility would be. And you're playing with people that's seen, oh, I have this one. Okay, I'll make sure I stick with these type of icons so that they all activate each other and then they work with each other. And it's like, oh, there's other icons. It's like that's useful information to know. Yeah. So there's a lot of cards in Terraforming Mars. And I think just having a grasp of the potential of what could come along and an understanding of the rules makes a huge difference. So my first gameplay of this was like, this was horrible. I'm never playing this again. And then I played it again. I'm like, okay, this is pretty good. And then you play it again. Okay, this is a good game. You know, now I own every version of Terraforming Mars. I have the card game version, the dice game version, and the original version. And this is one that Nick and Lee really enjoyed as well. Oh, cool. So, but it's the teach, a bad teach. Did not, like, I'm struggling the whole game. And then just not knowing what the potential of the game is going to be was making this one a little tricky. So that is my number 4, Terraforming Mars.
Yeah, this one actually could have probably been on my list as well. I had the same feeling the first time I played. I'm like, what am I doing here? What am I trying to accomplish? None of my cards are working together. Like, just nothing happened. And then played it again a few more times, and every time it was like, ooh, now I gotta build in an engine here. Okay, if I don't have the cards, I need to find a way to get cards to be able to have a better, flow in with the game. But no, it is a good game. I don't own this game, but we will have to play at some point because I've only been playing the card game version, which I do like. But I would like to try this big one again for sure. Good choice.
Perfect.
All right, my number 3 is Agricola. Now this one I played early on. Probably was my toddler gamer years, and played it and could not feed my people, so I hated it. And it felt like it was torture. And they nicknamed this one called, is it Torture Farm? No, it's called Misery Farm. They nicknamed
Misery
this game.
Farm. Nice.
Which it felt like that the first time I played. And I don't know what made me play it again. But the first time, I don't think I even used my cards in the game. Like, I just ignored the card play of it and just tried to build up my farm. And then I don't know when the second time I would have played it. Maybe somebody else wanted to play it. And I was like, okay, let's play it. And then I was able to feed my people that game. And I was like, okay, I see now. And then I ended up buying Caverna after that. So Caverna is kind of the sequel to this, and I loved it. I loved Caverna. It was a lot easier to feed your people. Plus you got to build up your whole cave side of the board. And then for some reason, once I grew as a gamer, I kind of wanted to go back to this and play it. So I ended up buying a used copy, and I got the expansion. And the expansion, this one really helps with making it easier to feed your people. But then I also figured out the gameplay of it, or the card play of it. That plays a big role in this game, which I never used. So that's probably why I actually hated it the first time. But that makes it a completely different game from Caverna too, because there's not card play in Caverna. It's just all worker placement. Whereas this one is worker placement, but then these cards can help you build almost a little engine, or, you know, just help you throughout the game if you play them wisely. And so then I started to really enjoy this game. And then I couldn't even decide which one I liked better, Agricola or Caverna. Like, for the longest time, I was like, I don't know which one. I like them both. They're different. People think they're very similar. The only way they're similar is that you have that farm board, but they play completely differently. Now, I did end up backing the big, pretty,
nice,
stupidly expensive version on GameFound. This just like a month ago here. And so I do have this one coming. But another reason that it's becoming more lovable to me is my son loves farming games. And my husband does too. And so every once in a while he'll come out. He's like, well, let's play a farming game. So I've introduced him to the Creatures Big and Small. So that's the 2-player version of this game.
Yes.
We've played Harvest, which is a little bit lighter than this farming game. We've played Caverna, and he really liked that. So next will be Agricola that we played. And I might wait till I get my big pretty copy. But it's just one of those evergreen games which I get now. I do get it, and I do love it. And it's my number 3, Agricola.
Wonderful. Great pick. Yeah, I remember first play with Agricola. Like, I played it 2 players with my friend, and it was a tricky learn, but we saw and we both loved the theme so much at the time. I was like, okay, no, I think. And if you play this 2-person, it's not hard to feed the people. There's a couple of places you can get fish. So then it's like, I never felt that, I can't feed my people. Yeah. So
it's a good Agricola 2-player game. Yeah. I think 100%. My first game we played at like 4 or 5, whatever the highest player count was.
Yeah.
And so then it was really, really tricky and long too. It was really long.
Nice. So. Yeah. Perfect. All right. My number 3 is a game that I jumped into too soon, and that is Puerto Rico. So I got into the hobby. I was gifted King of Tokyo, and I'm like, okay. Now we played Lords of Waterdeep and Carcassonne or Dominion, and I'm like, okay, I want more. Mm-hmm. And I had this one in my collection. My brother had gifted it to me, and I had never opened it because, the box is not pretty. The box is not pretty. And I was like, all right, boys, let's sit down and play this game. So I roped up my preteens who didn't play board games, and I sat down with this one, and we opened it up, and we set it up. And then I was like, okay, so we're following things like, okay, so I'll be first player, and then I pick an action, and I'm like, okay, I do this. And then I was like, okay, so I do that. Okay. And then, you all do that as well. Okay. So then you do that, and then you do that. And they're like, okay. And I was like, yeah, that was really boring. And we packed it up and never played it again. It was like, we did one action, and it was like, what was the point of this? I was like, oh my God. And it was like not a pretty game. And it's just like, oh my God. So I packed it up. And then my very first Melcon, I had friends come over, and then they're talking about Puerto Rico. I was like, I hated it. And they're like, what? No, you played it wrong. Like, you got to try this again. And I was like, okay, now this is 2 years later, and we played it and kind of got going. And I was like, wow, okay, this is really good. Now, of course, with Puerto Rico, there is controversial thing, because I guess the actual history of Puerto Rico, there was a lot of slavery. That's how everything got developed. in the gameplay of it itself, not knowing the history of Puerto Rico, that didn't come across to me. Like playing this game, I didn't understand there was slavery going on in the game. It's not about the slavery, it's about the industry, right? But, so however you feel about Puerto Rico, I respect that. But as a gameplay itself, had it be any other pasted on a different theme, just the economic aspect of this game, it's a really good game. And the activating the actions and that sort of stuff, really good game. But yeah, like we never made it past the first turn. The first time I got this to the table, I'm like, I'm sorry, kids. Let's never play this again. Pack it up and put it away. But it is smooth. And it's like with the action. And yeah, like you get more out of the action if you're the one who activated first. But everybody get to do a version of that action. And you're just trying to do the most out of the action so that you can, kind of grow these different resources and then have those resources be used to do things, and then you can ship it back to get income from it. And it's a good game. It is a good game. But it's just, if you're just like, I think I want to try board games, what should we play first? Don't pick Puerto Rico.
Yeah.
No, don't play Puerto Rico. You kind of evolve to this one. But yeah, so this is my number 3, Puerto Rico.
Yeah, this might have been your toddler years when you brought it out. So don't play this in your toddler years as a gamer.
Yeah.
Unless you have somebody that knows it well and is teaching you and helping you. But yeah. Not an easy one to learn initially, for sure. All right, my number 2 is actually my next 2 were both taught to me at the same convention. This is kind of ironic, but this one is Chakra. So I went to this little convention in Edmonton, and this was
so sorry.
That was
Let
yours.
Me see. That was mine. So what did I put? Hold on. Let me go look at this here, because I had done mine as yours, and I was like, oh shoot, what did I do? And I don't think I ever fixed yours. So
that's all right.
I have both of us as that one, so you act surprised when mine comes up. But I think I have the pictures. You know what, I don't have the pictures. We'll just kind of talk about Chakra.
Yeah. So anyways, Chakra, I went to this little convention in Edmonton. This was the first time I attended one alone. It was a small convention. I don't think they even do this one anymore. I can't remember the name of it, but it was in this smaller hall. And this was when Rodney Smith was there, and he was there
fun.
Teaching games. This one he didn't teach me, but he taught quite a few games. But there was, I think it was a French company. I don't know if this is Yellow Game. I don't have it in here, but this guy had a booth set up with a bunch of games from this production company, and he taught this game. So I played it, and it looks so pretty because it's all about you're trying to align your chakras. So it has these beautiful little kind of fairies is your whole player board, and they're different colored and they're beautiful art on them. And then you have this colored column that you're trying to place chakras and then align them. So you're gathering these colored gems, and you're going to either place them at the top, or you're going to put them in one of the middle chakras and then try to disperse them into the proper colors. And it's basically an abstract strategy game with just some really beautiful art on it. But I could not figure out the strategy of this and how to get these down, because how you move them is then you're going to take an action and it'll have arrows that you're going to choose. So I might choose one that has 3 arrows down, and that would move 3 different gems down. Or I might have one that shows 3 arrows aligned down, and that would mean moving 1 gem down 3. And so that's all you're doing, is taking these actions and trying to get them aligned. You may choose to grab gems from the main board and choose to either place them at the top, or you can place them in the middle in one of the chakras. They'll be different colors because you can never grab the same color from the main board in one action. but then you have to block it. So you take one of your action tokens and block it, and until that one is aligned, you won't get that action token back. So that gives you one less action. So you don't want to do that too often, because if you keep blocking them all, you have no actions to do anything. So you typically will have one blocked and then try to manipulate these other ones. Well, I still to this day have not figured out the strategy of this game. I've not won this game once, but when I played it that first time, it was definitely my toddler years. I think I just was like, this is stupid. It's pretty, but it's stupid. I don't like it. And then I never went back to it. And then I thought about it in the middle of the night one night again. I'm like, oh, I really need to try that game again. And then ironically, it popped up on BGA. So I played it on there and did terribly, but I was intrigued and I needed to play more. And then I found a copy. I don't know if I bought it new or used, but I've been playing it ever since. I've been playing it with my daughter, with whoever will play it with me. I've still yet to win this game, but I'm going to figure it out. And it's every person I play with it, they have it figured out, but this one has stumped me. But I continue to like it because it's just so intriguing to me. And I don't know if you've ever seen what it looks like, but it's just such a beautiful Zen-like looking game. And it plays very fast too. I don't think a game goes longer than 20 minutes. So it's one of those where you could play, 2 or 3 games of this and just enjoy a really chill time, because it's just trying to figure out your own little puzzle kind of thing and racing to do so, because the first person who aligns 4 chakras ends the game, and then you kind of count points. So yeah, if anyone's interested in this, you can play it on Board Game Arena for free. Hit me up if you want an easy win. You can play me in this game. At least I'll get practice. That's my number 2 chakra.
Nice. Well, surprise, surprise, my number 2 is Evolution. Now, Evolution is a game that I purchased and got for the first time in 2017 when I was first getting into board games. And I wouldn't say I hated it. But with Evolution is you kind of start with the species and you can add traits to your species. And you'll have cards that be like, okay, well, mine has a long neck. And the long net makes it so that you can reach out food up higher, so you get first dibs at foods. And everybody puts a card aside, and whatever number is on that card is how much food's going to be available this round and whatever. And you build your species, and you're trying to collect the most food, and whoever has the most food after the whole game is the winner of the game. And you can discard cards to get new species, and then you can have like multiple species, animals and stuff and whatever. And it was okay. And then I give my one species, oh, okay, great. He's a carnivore now. And everybody else around me had huge animals. My carnivore is too small, so he's starving all the time and my species are dying. I'm like, the carnivore card is stupid. Why would you ever play the carnivore cards? And you should play the carnivore cards, but you got to strategically decide when you play it. But so that was my first feel of the game. I was like, okay, it's okay, but carnivore is the most stupid card in that game, and I don't know if I ever want to play this again. So whatever, that was that. But my boys, because I was making them play with me, they loved it. And every time it's like, okay, let's play this one again. And I'm like, really? Okay, fine, let's play it again. And then we play it again, and I'm like, okay. And I was like, okay, I'm going carnivore again this time. And it was totally terrible. And I was like, this is stupid. And then they loved it some more. So play it again. Fine, we play it again. And then I was like, okay, I'm not going carnivore. And then I was like, okay, it's pretty good. And this time, and then I was like, okay, let's play it again. Okay, fine, we'll play it again. It's like, okay, I'm going to go carnivore, but I'm going to make another species that makes tons of babies super easy. So no matter what other people, I'm eating my own people, my own little babies here. And then it was good. And then I played it last time. I was like with the boys and Nick and Lily, and we played all 6 of us. It was like, this was the most epic game ever. Mm-hmm. And I put this one in level 2. Not because I hated it so much, but just because this one went from how I felt about it to how I feel about it now, has the biggest stretch I think this game is amazing. And last time I played it, it was so good. And I don't know. It's one, like, the more I played, the more it grows on me. It's like, oh yeah, that was so good. After I was like, okay, this game is stupid. But my kids like loved it all along. So there was always one they would ask to play. It's like, all right, fine, let's play it. And it's a great game. So that is my number 2, Evolution.
Yeah, I definitely felt the same way the first time I played it. I think I played it maybe 2 or 3 times and still felt that way. But again, those were my toddler years. So I do want to try it again. I feel like I would have a better appreciation of this game because I love the theme of it.
Mm-hmm.
It's
you would.
a perfect theme. I mean, animals have to survive. So no, I do want to try this one again for sure. All right, down to our number 1s. Now, This one might shock some people because I'm sure 99% of the people who've played this game was like, this is an awesome game. But for me, it wasn't at the time. And so, again, I was taught this game at this little Edmonton convention. I don't think you have the picture because you said you didn't have the last 2. Yeah,
is this the one?
No, that was my last.
What is going on with my presentation? Yeah. I'm so sorry.
That's okay. So my number 1 is Dice Throne. Now, I was taught this game by Paul. Paul, who's
right.
He's a rep. Is he a rep for?
He was a rep with Roxley, yeah.
Roxley, yeah. So he was at this convention and he taught this game, and I don't even know why I went to learn this game because I was not into battling at all, especially like 2-player battle. That was just not for me. I was all about the Euros, all about gaining resources and cool wooden bits and trading them and whatnot. And that's basically what was all in my head. I'm like, I don't want to battle. So, but I did sit down and learn this game and I was like, this is stupid. I just lost like in whatever, matter of 5 minutes. Lost all my life. Because when he was teaching us, I think we only started with like, 5 or 6 or maybe 10 life. So it was just to show us how to play. But everybody around me was like, this is awesome. They just loved it. And I was just like, I don't know what everybody is so excited about. I'm going over to play that Euro over there. So I did not like this game. But a couple years ago, because you kept talking about it, and I'm like, okay, what? Really? Okay, well, Mel, which one is the best one? Which one should I start with? And you're like, well, they're all good. Like, any of them go together with anything. So I bought the starter pack. And me and John played it, and he loved it. And then we played it again and again, and I was like, uh-oh, now I need more of these. And so then I didn't buy like all the sets. I just bought a bunch of the paired boxes where there's 2 in a box. So I have maybe, like, I don't know, 8-ish of them, which is enough for me. I don't need all the whole sets. I could borrow yours if I wanted to play.
There is that.
But then we introduced my son to it, and he really liked it because he loves the, I'm going to destroy you kind of game. He's a video gamer, so this was right up his alley. And so then we played a 3-player game, and that is interesting too because you can choose who you're going after in that one. And if you do go after the leader, you get to grab another card. So you kind of are always going to go after the leader because then it gives you more income. But this game is Battle Yahtzee. You are just rolling dice to pick the actions that are on your board to destroy other people's health. And I would love to try a team version of this where it's like a 2v2 or whatever, but I've yet to try that. But we've played this multiple times. And then I got the Christmas version, and that one is awesome. Like the Santa and Krampus it's such a good version of it. But I've liked all the ones that I've bought. We've kind of tried them out, and some are, I prefer more than others, and my husband prefers different ones more than others, but this is definitely my number 1, and I do love this game now, and I was probably the only person in the world who didn't like this game, but I do love it now, and that's my number 1, Dice Throne.
Yeah, because this is a game that I interrupted halfway through my first play, and I'm like, okay, no, I must go buy this game. And you're like, no, I didn't. I was like, okay, that can't be. And then this is one that went so well. Like everybody I've ever showed this game to loves it. In fact, we played it Friday. So my friend had her nephew over, as I mentioned, and they came over to our house and we played a few games. And I'm assuming, I mean, this kid must have played some board games, but it's like this is kind of sealed the fate for him. And he's like, okay. And then we played this one. It was the last game of the day. At the end, they're like, okay, just kill me because I'm tired. I want to go to bed. And we were playing 5 players. So it was a bigger game. And I still kind of took the health down to 30. But he's like, okay, no, this is really good. And then Bonanza was the other one that we played that he's like, okay, no, I need I need all of this. I'm just fixing the presentation real quick here. But yeah, you know what happened is I did this. I got interrupted at some point, and then in my mind it was done. And
that's all right.
I was almost done. Sheesh. But yeah.
What's your number?
So I didn't come back to this because it was done. All right, let me just show you guys this here real quick. I'm just gonna add the picture to it, and I think you'll be shocked. One second. Because this is a game that makes my top list often. It's an amazing game, and I'm constantly talking about this one as such a great game. And so I think this will be a surprise for a lot. And mostly because it's also my most played game of all time now. And that is Love Letter. So the first time I played Love Letter was with my brother. And a lot of the games on my list are games that my brother taught me. Son, I don't know if there's a theme here, if that's the reason why, but he taught me Love Letter, and he says, okay, and here's the thing. He taught me how Love Letter worked. And I don't think I really kind of understood what the goal of the game was. And we played Love Letter the first time, and he's kind of like, he started, my first turn had not started, and he's like, okay, Melanie, I'm playing a guard. Is your player, like, are you the prince? And I'm like, yeah, I'm the prince. He's like, Kate, you're eliminated. What does that mean? He's like, well, you're out of the game. Oh, you're out of this round. I was like, oh, okay. So I'm out of the round. So I discard and I'm done. And then they're playing. And then we do the next round. Okay, let's play again. All right, Melanie, are you the princess? And I think I got to go one turn this time. It's like, are you the princess? Or I had the princess. Okay, you got to discard your card, and I discard the princess. Oh, okay, you're eliminated. So I'm done again. So yeah, you're done. And then they play, and I'm just sitting back, and I'm not playing anymore. I'm like, oh my God, this game is horrible. Why would he recommend that we play this? This is the stupidest thing ever. And because I never got to play, I just keep getting eliminated. It's like, what is even the point? So, stupid game. And today, it's my most played game of all time. So,
Zero to hero.
Like, it's just the nuance of this game are so good. But if you don't understand that, you're trying to not get eliminated, ideally. But the goal is you're trying to eliminate the other players. And you're trying to have the highest value card at the end of the game between the players that didn't get eliminated. Now, if you first time you play like me, it's like, hey, you're eliminated, you're out. Oh, you're out. And then, oh, you're out. Like in the first 3 rounds, I was out and I didn't get to partake at all. It's like, I don't understand why we're trying to do here. Like, what? Why is this fun? So it was brutal the first time. But it's understanding the game, playing this game, how it works. It's an amazing game. And what they can do with like 18 cards, unreal. And Lily loves it. And every time we play as a family, this is one that gets played at least 1 or 2 times when we play. And It's an amazing game. If you get past like and don't get eliminated the first time you played, I'm like, okay, what? But so that is my number one of the top game that I used to hate, but now I love, and that is Love Letter.
I still have not played this game ever.
You've what?
I know.
Carla!
I played other versions of this game, but I had this game.
This one is a pure version.
I know. I had it, and my dog chewed one of the cards. It was the princess, so it's like I can't play that game because it's obvious whatever. And I never got to play like small card games in big groups when I was an early gamer, and I bought this like very early because I had seen all the reviews on it. So I never ended up playing it. And then you brought over one time the Star Wars version of it.
Yes, not the best version for sure.
And then we also played a prototype of a one that's not out yet, of a different version. And those are the only two I've played of this game.
No, you need to play Love Letter.
Yeah, I need to play it.
Pack up, come over right now.
Well, I'm coming camping kind of near your area next week. Well, it's Drumheller, so I don't know if that's close to Kayla, but she's going to
Well, it's closer to me than Kayla.
Is it?
Still.
Drumheller?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So, so you may have to come and visit.
Yes. Totally should.
Yeah.
Me and Kayla will kind of...
Yeah. Meet. Yeah.
Yeah. And bring Love Letter.
I don't have it anymore because he chewed that card.
No,
so
I'll bring Love Letter.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah, no, I know I would like it. I love those kind of games. They're all fun. But that was a cool list. I was shocked about that Love Letter. I didn't know you ever hated it because I knew it was your number one.
I know. And that's the thing. When I got making my list and I'm like, and I thought Love Letter and I was like, oh, that's right.
Yeah.
That should be on my list because when I played with my brother, it was just the first round. He's like, I haven't even played yet. Are you the prince? Yes, I'm the prince. Okay, you're out. Great game.
Yeah, this is awesome. Huh. Yeah, no, I agree with your whole list other than which one didn't I? Oh, the Dwarf King I liked the first time I played, but that's right away. I was already in, like, me and you love trick-taking games. I was already in that mode. Yeah. So if I would have played that early on, I might have been like, whatever. But
yeah, that's funny.
We do love those games, but definitely agree with yours. I don't know if you've played. Well, you've played some of mine, but not
some of yours. I have not. You have. Yeah. Well, you play so much more than I do. So, and you play a lot more complex game than I tend to gravitate to, just because of who my main players are.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah.
No, I do know you would like Teotihuacan for sure. And Chakra. Yeah. Probably destroy me at Chakra.
We'll have to
I haven't played with John yet. Maybe I can beat John. I'll bring it camping.
There you go.
He's like sneakily very good at abstract strategy games, though.
Nice.
So
nice.
Maybe not.
There you go.
Our next topic is going to we're going to talk about the top 9 games that play well as a large group.
Yes.
So meaning 6+. So we typically don't play in, well, I guess you play in larger groups than I do. Because you have a lot of game nights where you have like lots of different age ranges and you all kind of play together. I don't typically play in that type of group, but I do enjoy those every once in a while. And I do have lots of those games that can fit that description. So this will be an interesting list if we have some crossovers for that one.
Yeah.
But I know a lot of times we'll get together as gamers and there will happen to be 5 or 6 of us. And then we're all like, okay, everyone like scourge through your games and see which ones play good at a high player count. So
yeah,
this will be an interesting list.
Yeah, it'll be a good one.
Yeah. But until then, Mel, where can people find you?
So I am on Instagram at Mel's_boardgame_room. I also have a Facebook page called Mel's Board Game Room and a YouTube channel called Mel's Board Game Room, as well as our Discord. Be sure to join that. Lots of neat games been playing on there lately. So we have a lot of people kind of sharing what they've been playing. And it just seems like everybody's playing more than I do. And I was like, oh my God. I need to get playing more. I've got like 3 sets of games here that I want to record unboxing. So I haven't even unboxed them, and I just haven't been able to get to them. So then it's like, no, Ned, I want to play them. So I need somebody who wants to play every day to move to Acme. And to become
I
my
do,
neighbor.
but I can't move to Acme.
See, you're no good to me. How about you, Carla? Where can we find you?
So yeah, just about Discord. I have not been playing a lot lately. This is weird for me, but my other hobby addiction is golf. So I have been golfing up a storm lately. And so this is probably my least amount played. I know last month I didn't even reach 100, which is like terrible for me. And this month it's going to be, let's see, what am I at? I'm at 85, so unlikely I'm gonna reach it because
85.
It's already the 27th. So
and you feel the shame, dude.
I feel so shame. But
I'm at 47. And it was a good month.
I also have a lot more time on my hands. Mel works full time, so I don't work full time. So I should be playing more than I am, but I've been enjoying the great outdoors quite a bit. But you can find me at Instagram. I'm at boardgamespecialist, all one word, and I have a Facebook page called Red Deer Board Game Fanatics. But until next time, thank you all for listening, and bye for now.
Bye, everybody.